Beach.
Welcome back. We are here. TK Talks with myself, Kyvan Gatson. Remember, you can follow me at Gatson Strong on any of the social medias, especially the new one, Threads. You get Threads yet?
No, I didn't get Threads. I just seen that.
Okay.
One of my boys was posting about it.
All right. Well, Todd will be on there soon, hopefully later today.
Yeah.
But then we got Todd Small.
Todd Small. You can follow me, tsmall28 on Twitter, Todd_small28 on Instagram.
And we are back, folks. And I'm actually really, really excited for our guest today. Our guest is none other than John Meeks, the head wrestling coach at Waukee. How are you doing, John?
I'm ready for it. I'm just ready for the questions. I am ready. Hey, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it. I really do. You got me on the camera, so if I say something, I apologize.
Yo, I'm super excited for John. John is actually he's about 3 years younger than me.
Thanks, appreciate it.
What year did you graduate? 2012 high school?
2012. Yep.
2012, right. So 2 years younger than me. Apologize. I graduated in 2010. But John is someone that I got to see develop and was great when he got to high school. And so I got to see him win his first state title in 2009, and that was when I won my first one. So he won his first state title in the state of Iowa before I even won one. So I got to watch him go through a whole career, 168-0, and just really was very amazed with how he dealt with it, the stress, the pressures, everything like that. It was amazing to watch you do that, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Well,
that's good wording. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So he's a four-time undefeated Iowa high school state champion. Went on to wrestle at Iowa State. Now is the head coach, like we said, at Waukee. So can you talk to us a little bit about where your wrestling journey started at, John?
So I started in second grade. I'm just going to be honest. I was not good at all. It was either headlock or get headlocked. And then throughout that, pretty much third, fourth grade, again, I was okay, but I wasn't that good. Fifth grade, I actually quit because I was just done with it.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I did quit. And my dad, I could tell a story, but I'm not going to do it.
I feel like we need this story.
So I was wrestling, and I think it was, I was wrestling a couple guys, and I think it was when I faced this, she was a girl. And she was pretty good, and I think she cross-faced me or something like that. I can remember, and I was like, I don't want none of that.
Right.
And then, so, anyway, that wasn't the reason why. I was just I had enough of it, right? So I had enough of it. I said, I'm done. My dad said, oh, you done? I was like, yeah, I'm done. He's like, all right. So I was like, all right. So I quit there, and then, so we had this mat in our house, right? And every time I tried to get on, my dad's like, nope, can't get on that mat. You didn't wrestle, remember? You quit. I was like, oh, Dad, I did quit.
So I did quit.
I did hit the reverse psychology.
So it was just through the whole time, and my brothers were screaming, John's wrestling, so I couldn't wrestle. My dad's like, no, you quit, remember? So I was like, it is what it is, right? Then, after that, I was like, okay, maybe I should come back, right? So I came back, I think it was, sixth grade, and my dad put me in this toughest tournament. I was like, okay, I don't know. I think it was Board Awards or something like that. I think it was in Michigan. And he's like, all right, let's put him in this tournament. And he put me in the tournament, and these dudes were really good. I ended up placing, but that's a whole long story. But that's how I kind of got back to it. And then obviously middle school, I was getting there. I was getting there. So
okay, man, I didn't realize you quit. Do you feel like every kid maybe goes through those feelings or emotions where they want to step away?
100%.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, wrestling, the pressure in wrestling is unreal, right? There's different type of pressures, right? But for wrestling, there is some, and some kids can't take that, right? So, I couldn't take it obviously fifth grade, so I ended up, just stepping away.
Yeah, so. I think that's just like Kyvan said. I think everybody kind of goes through that a little bit because wrestling is one of those sports where if you're not all in it at the time, then you shouldn't be doing it. It's definitely not a sport just to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So,
Yeah, can't do it.
yeah.
My dad definitely didn't let me do that. So
Right.
definitely didn't let me do it.
Because I remember being at like tournaments, and you guys had like, was it like Meeks Brothers Wrestling?
Yeah.
What what was that?
So
Can you
we were
talk to us?
sponsored. I mean, I didn't want to go. We were good. We were good. Anyway, I'll just say it though. We had sponsors, right? And we had like these shirts and whatnot, and Meeks Brothers Wrestling, and me, Keith, Blake, and myself. And I mean, just go to tournaments and wrestle.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
We seen you at a couple tournaments.
What? Wait, why you
What's
say
that
it
mean? I know. What's that
Right?
mean?
Why you say it like that?
Just saying, we seen you at a couple tournaments. I didn't say you lost, or I'm just saying we seen you.
Like, we spotted you out.
Oh, we did spot this man out.
What? So what? Okay. So what do you remember? Oh, he needs to tell this story. What do you remember?
Yes.
No, I need to hear this.
I will. So we're at this tournament, right? And Kyvan was there, and Kyvan was wrestling, and I can't. Maybe it was Dakota Poe, maybe it was him. I don't know, right? And Kyvan was wrestling, and his dad was there, and Kyvan wasn't really doing too good, like Kyvan wrestles, right? Like we knew Kyvan could win because we're like, we're kind of sitting back, we're like, what's going on here, right? So Kyvan, the match was real close, right? And something happens. I don't know what happens. Goes over to his corner, and his dad comes down and just smacks the mess out of Kyvan. Like, boom! He's like, wake up! Kyvan's like, what? Went out there and dominated the dude. I was like, dang! I was like, that's what you had to say to the brother? Dang!
He said, wake up.
Yeah, he said, wake up. Kyvan's like, I don't remember that. I'm telling you, I heard that smack from a mile away. I was like, wow.
Do you see?
Wow.
Yo, do you see this?
Wow.
Man?
I'm telling you, as for my brother, we're all there. Kyvan was just messing around. I don't know what Kyvan was doing. The match was way too close. And then Kyvan blew him out. I was like, dang.
Yo,
I'm telling you.
yo, I think I'm blessed. I didn't grow up in the social media era because my dad would have.
Yep.
I might have would have got taken.
Yeah.
According to John Meeks' recollections.
Man, I'm telling you, heard it a mile away. I was like, oh, okay, this dude's for real. It's like,
Wake up.
He said, wake up. I was like, dang.
I can't. Oh goodness. So like, what? You said you started getting a little bit better in middle school. What would you attribute that to?
So, 6th grade, I mean, I started coming back. 7th grade, we had like state. I think it was like AAU, and then they had like a different state or something like that too.
Yeah,
I
USA
think
Wrestling.
Yeah, and I wrestled in both of them. 7th grade was kind of, I knew I was getting pretty good, but 8th grade is when it happened, right? So I had to face Gabe Marino in the finals. I beat him prior. I think it was at Urbandale, and I beat him at a tournament. Then I had to face him in the finals, but I never went down, right? I never went down because for a reason that wasn't like calculating with me. So I was like wrestling him, and next thing you know, I think I go down. My dad tells me to go down or something like that. I'm like, okay, I could probably get out, right? This dude rode the dog snot out of me for the longest time, and I was like contemplating down there. I was like actually thinking. That's the first time I was thinking. I was like, dang. Maybe I should not be wrestling right now, right? But that was just in my head. This dude was just dominating me, right? I think he took me down one time too. And then over in the corner, and you'll know when I say it, over in the corner was Al Garrison, right? So Al Garrison went up to my dad, and he was like, after the match, he was like, hey, he can be really good. He can be like a 4-timer, something like that, right? Somewhere along those lines. And I was like, when my dad told me this, I was like, did this guy not just see me get rode out by this dude for the whole second period, right? So after that point, I started working with Al, and I almost stopped working with Al because he smacked me in the head. I don't like when people like touch me, you know what I mean? He smacked me in the head. He was like, hey, what's up, me? Well, he called me toddler, right? He just smacked me in the head, and I didn't like it. So I told my dad, I was like, I'm not dealing with this dude right now. I'm not doing that, right? So I had to talk to him. I was like, look, man, you can't hit me in the head, man. Don't hit me. I don't like that.
I don't function like that.
Don't function like that at all. Don't touch me. Don't hit me in the head. Like, we're really about to have problems. Even though you're big, it is what it is. Anyway, right? So we got past that, and I just started drilling with Al like every day. I mean, Monday through Sunday, and it was a lot. If we had practice, right, it would be like practice 2-3 hours, then another 3 hours after that. So it was like, it was
intense.
Yeah, it was intense. Well, it was just a lot of drilling, but
I mean,
he was very technical and detailed.
Right.
Very detailed. So
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to him because I know I'm good friends with his son, Orlando.
Yep.
So I know
Orlando,
pretty
yep.
well.
Yep.
Yep.
No, that's wild. Cause I had that same like kind of situation happen. Like I don't remember the dad situation that you're talking about, but
That's probably because that smack was a little too hard.
Yeah, man, he lit him up.
but I remember in middle school, my middle school coach before I went out on the mat, he did that, and I was like,
Wait, to you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And so like I went and wrestled the match and came back and was like, hey, I don't need that. Like I don't know what everyone else needs, but like
For me,
that's unnecessary. Like I'll be ready to go. And maybe that was a precursor to the first time that you say it happened. Cause
Oh, it definitely happened.
so
He's
so
used to
when
it.
that happened, was Kyvan napping?
And the match was really close, and we're just like, because we know Kyvan was good. Like
Yeah.
we're like, oh snap, Kyvan's here. Like we know Kyvan's good. It was close. I was like, something ain't right. His dad came out. Hey, wake up! I was like, hey.
the reason I don't believe this story
I'm
is
trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell. If I brought my brother Blake out here, he would say the same exact thing. He don't remember because he was just in shock, probably.
you're saying he walked out of the stands, and I don't remember him not
Man.
being in the corner.
Man, he smacked the best out of you. I
I'm
was
not trying to hear none of that.
hey, I was like, man, maybe he was. I don't know. I can't. I mean, it was a long time ago, but maybe he was front row. I don't know. He's in the stance. Bang! Wake up.
Wake up. All
You
right.
did roll him though, so better think of
And then
that.
you woke up, I guess.
This is back when
Way back when.
way back when Outcast speaker box and the roses below. Like this is, hey y'all. Cause I actually
You know
did
when you can get like splinters in the bleachers when they have like those,
the wooden one.
yeah,
wooden
yeah,
ones.
that's when when they had those, right? Not when they have all the nice stuff now.
Nice
so.
stuff now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Nah, I can relate to that. That's how I
Thank you.
Like I used to when I'd be at these tournaments we travel to, and then you wrestle a few matches and you got a long break, and I'd be somewhere taking a nap. My dad will just pop out of nowhere, yo, like you know what I mean? I'm like,
Hey,
you like,
my dad just gave us a break.
Right.
He just looked at us if we lost. He'd be like, like that.
nah, my dad was always on me. It didn't matter if I lost 30 seconds ago, he gonna be in my ear. So
Yeah.
I had to have a talk with my dad about that. I'm like, yo, because if I would lose, it'd be like he wanted to give me like instant feedback, and
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to accept it.
Yep.
Right.
And so like I think probably in like 7th or 8th grade, I'm like, look, I can't deal with it. Like right after the loss, I'm already like internally, I'm like dealing with why I just lost.
Yeah.
And I don't ever think it was like an effort thing, but sometimes it was a confidence,
Right.
like believing you can wrestle with anybody. Like I feel like my confidence had to be built. And so like I had to tell my dad, like, hey, when I lose, can you give me some time to like process it myself? And then
right, like before I can't even.
right? Like
That's what my dad did. My dad didn't talk to me. Like he waited. He just knew he was pretty good at that.
and
So,
then I was like, and then I'll come find you. Like when I'm ready
Right.
to hear like what I need to hear, like then I'll come find you.
Yeah.
And like that was like probably like maybe that process was like probably like 2 or 3 more years until it got like really came to like, oh, this is like pretty good communication between us, which what I would say happened probably about my sophomore year of high school. But I think that's one thing parents really have to be aware of is when their kids, especially if you're not the coach, if you're the coach, parent, athlete, kid, if you're in that situation, you really have to be aware of when your kid can accept the feedback and what type of feedback they need.
Very
I
true.
think coaches and parents at times were like, oh, this is the one way that we're going to give this person the information. And oftentimes that kid isn't ready to accept it or hear it. And that's where I think parents and coaches have to be willing to adapt, I would say.
communication
Yeah.
comes down to communication.
Yeah, because I was gonna say you probably know firsthand.
Oh man, so I love my athletes, but like, everyone is different, right? You
Right.
can talk to a certain athlete one way, and then you can talk to another athlete
Yeah,
a different way,
yeah.
right? It's just like training. Like somebody might not know, like you can't just train everybody the same, right? Maybe someone learns a single this way, right? versus, okay, we're all going to do the same thing, and I'm thinking you're all the same, right? You just got to
Right.
break it down that way. It just comes down to communication.
Yep.
Communication.
So like now that you've been a coach for what 5-6 years, or like
Yeah, I think
how long
so.
have you been head coach? 3 years or 2 years?
I'll be 3 coming in.
Okay, you're going
So,
into 3
yeah.
years, and then you were assistant coach
Yep.
for how long?
Since 2018, I think 2017, 2018, one of those.
Okay,
So
and
I think
so
2018.
yeah, what have you? What's the biggest thing that you've learned is the difference between assistant coaching and head coaching?
Head coaches have to deal with a lot more, like administrative stuff, right? Assistants, I mean, you're basically just focused on, the wrestlers, whereas the head coach, like, you're like the CEO of like everything. Obviously, there's somebody at top of you, right? Like your AD, but you're like, you have to make sure, okay, you got hotels, okay, the mats need to be placed here at this certain time. Okay, we got JV, okay, we got weight, just
Yeah.
all of that together.
Right.
That's a big, it's a lot, but if you love it, you don't really worry about it too much. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So in high school, it says you went 168-0.
Yep.
Let's talk about that, because that's
I
not
hate talking about
that's
it.
not that's not something that's easy to
really
do. I mean, just being a 4-timer, and not only that, being undefeated in the state of Iowa was something. How many people have done that?
Not a ton. I
was
know
gonna
one
say.
just got it done, which was Ben
Ben
Keeter.
Keeter. Oh,
Yeah.
he's so good. He
He
is
is
so
good.
good.
Okay.
He is so good.
He is good. I just saw
It's
it
not
on
even
his,
funny.
I
That
just saw on
dude
his like Instagram.
He's built different.
Yeah.
I
Like-
can't remember. Did Teskey? Because I know he's a 4-timer, right?
I think
Teskey
he lost one. Yeah,
He
Oh,
lost
he
to
lost
Alex
one to
Thompson.
Thompson.
Him and
Okay,
Thompson,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
Okay.
did you and Corey wrestle in high school?
We practice together sometimes just to get.
But
some
you guys
more.
never competed against each other?
No.
No, he lost
No.
to Hathaway his senior
He
year.
did. Man, I was
Yeah, they were
devastated.
both. He was at Southeast Polk. You were at Roosevelt.
Yep.
And they were both planning, I think, to end undefeated.
Yeah.
And then Corey Clark lost to Jack Hathaway.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, Hathaway went on to wrestle at Oregon State.
Yep.
But yeah, that was wild because he was like, what was he 167-1 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corey was actually hurt. He had this big brace on his knee, but that is what it is, So
Yeah, he dealt with a lot.
I'm
of injuries.
biased because I like Corey. So
I got you.
Yeah.
He's doing well now though. He's he's doing Izzy style. He's
He
in
is.
Illinois.
he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, why don't you like talking about 168? No.
I just don't like talking about it. It's in the past, right? So I just don't.
Yeah, but
Liked it.
that's an
I
accomplishment
just
that's
don't
gonna
like it.
that's like we said, not too many people have done that before. So it's like, people obviously want to hear about that.
Well,
you know?
I have wrestlers like, you went undefeated? Like, yes, I did. you know what I mean?
Kids really
Like,
don't know.
Yeah, like
they don't know.
And they're like, you went undefeated? I was like, yes, I did. But
And-
I don't like talking about it because to me it's not a big deal, to me personally. But to my family, like that's a big deal. To other people, like they remember that forever because it's Iowa. Like it'd be
Yeah.
different if it was from a different state that's not really known for wrestling.
like Georgia.
Oh,
See, I
he's funny.
wasn't
He's funny.
gonna go that far. I was gonna say another state, but I didn't want to put them out like that. But Iowa's like it's Iowa, like it's
Yeah.
known for wrestling, like
Yeah.
Pennsylvania or something like that, right? So a lot of people know you for that, but I just don't really care to even talk about it too much. I did it, and it's in the past. So
Yeah. Was that something that that once you started winning, you were kind of just like, all right, I don't see myself losing, or it was something that you never even really thought about? It was just more of, I'm just going out and wrestling and doing what I need to do to get a win.
I think some of the time, and I think some kids can learn from me a little bit, I was wrestling not to lose, right? After like my sophomore year, I was like, okay, freshman year, I was like, okay, I did it, woohoo, whatever. Sophomore year, I was like, oh, snap, I'm actually pretty good, And then junior year, I was like, oh, snap. Like some matches, like when I knew I could beat them, I was like, okay, I was trying not to lose. So that kind of affected me
Right.
a little bit.
Okay.
And you can't think that way. You got to think like, I'm going to dominate you
Yeah.
every time. Like
Yeah,
my
wrestle to
freshman year,
win.
freshman year to like junior year, it was just like freshman. I was like, look, I don't care who you are. I'm about to go smash you right now. Junior year, I was thinking about it a little bit too much, and that kind of affected me a little bit. But I'm not gonna go that far and say that. And then senior year, I was really hurt my whole senior year because I was wrestling my brother Blake, and I thought I could take him down. So I hit him with a double, and like everything like shot down. Like I couldn't turn my neck like this. So my whole senior year, I was either running or find a different way to stay off the mat because I
Right.
couldn't really do much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that senior year was when Blake was at Nebraska.
Yeah, he was. But I needed a drilling partner, so he would come down time to time, and I mean, we wrestle. So
Right.
yeah.
So what was it like getting through your senior year with that injury though?
I think it was a lot of nerves, and I think it was more stress. I didn't know I had stress,
Yeah.
right? Because right when it was over, like there was like a stress relief. I didn't feel anything. It was just like back to normal, right? So I think it was like built up stress, and I didn't think I had it at the point, but it was that, and then being the first like African American to do it. So I think it was just a lot. Like a lot of people are like looking up to you, like
Right.
can he do it? You know? And
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's a lot of pressure.
it's I mean, yeah, kind of, but
Yeah. no.
Kinda.
That's
yeah.
a lot of pressure.
Well, it's
man.
like, you know,
For-
like, I mean, the pressure really wasn't, I mean, it was like, you got little kids, like, I'm signing autographs, like, after my freshman year, right? That's
Right.
like a big deal. Like, so when I won my first match against, I think it was freshman year, sorry, I'm going back. I faced Nick Sand, I think it was my very first match. I think
Yeah,
he was number,
I remember
yeah,
that.
and he was like,
He was ranked number 1.
he was number one.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I was. And I beat him.
You were like 4.
Yeah, maybe I was. I mean, I don't know.
I know.
Um,
I remember.
Okay. And then but they didn't seed him in.
No, they
seed
didn't
him.
seed it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we knew he was that guy, right?
Because he took second at.
Where was he from?
He was at Waterloo West.
Oh.
He took second at
Waterloo,
district,
huh?
or maybe he was
Got
It's
him.
Waterloo West.
He did it.
he was at West.
I know. I'm just saying Waterloo, same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Whatever.
right? So I faced him. I beat him 9-1. And like after I like got off, I'm just walking off normally. All these cameras just rush up to me, and at that point, I was like, okay, one, I hate cameras, right? So I'm not going to do this anymore. And then there's just the whole media, like kids, like, hey, can you sign my autograph and all this stuff? Like, yeah, sure. And it was like a lot, you know. So that was kind of a big deal, but I guess you kind of get past it a little bit. So.
Yeah, bro. That's how Taylor Lujan was in high school. Like he was a freshman,
Oh, Taylor
and
Lujan's
he
nice.
beat I forget who this kid was that he beat, but the kid was pretty good. And these cameras came up to him and like, bro, he didn't want no part of the cameras at all. Like he was just like, you know, like kind of thing. And ever since then, he kind of been like a shy person. But obviously now he's grown out of that. But he was always shy. But he could wrestle though, for sure.
I just ran to the
Yeah,
back
he could-
every
yeah,
time. I
yeah.
was like, camera's coming. I'm like, I'm going.
Yeah,
back.
that's
Can we
like
interview me?
yeah.
No, can't interview me.
I think, and I feel like that's like a part that I don't think is discussed or talked about enough. You know, like some people seek the cameras, some people, you know, shy away from the cameras. And so, like, what role would you say, like, because even now, like, you're a pretty private person.
Yep.
Like, even now. And so, what role would you say, like, media played in either in your development from a positive standpoint or a negative standpoint, or just like both?
I mean, I never liked cameras anyway. They just made it a little worse with, I mean, there's like, you're a freshman and it's like 15 just in your face. And you had these little guys with, you know, little microphones. So, I mean, I just saw flashes. So I was like, okay, what's going on here? Right? I mean, it doesn't really affect me now. I mean, I can get on. So I have a tight knit circle, right? I only like, I mean, if I'm with you, like, you know, like if I got your back and I'm with you, right? I don't like too much more around that. I like it quiet, you know, and all that jazz. But I mean, the cameras, I mean, it is what it is now. I mean, can't run from it now. You know what I mean? I can't. I'm on the set right now.
Yeah, no, that is really a real thing. Some people really just don't like being around cameras, any of that type of stuff. So
I just don't like being around a lot of people in general.
yeah,
Right?
no,
That's just me. And that's not, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I might be a little antisocial. That's me. But like I said, if I'm with you, like, you know, like I'll call you, like I call you, like just out of the blue sometimes. I just call Kyvan, you know.
right.
And don't act like I don't call you, because I do.
I
Okay,
did not
because I can see
say
his
that.
face. I can see his face. Anyway, but yeah, I just like it a tight knit circle. I don't need too many friends. You know what I mean? I just need people I can really rely on, and then you can build around that, right? So.
Right. And so I'm assuming with you being, you know, like undefeated and a 4-timer, you had a lot of schools probably, you know, knocking down the door, probably junior, senior year, huh?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
and,
did.
And so what was that process like?
One like so back then you got a lot of letters too as well, and
Okay.
they're just hitting
Yeah.
you up all the time, like every week. And then I know there's one like Arizona State was like, we'll fly you out. Like they really wanted me like really bad. Um, I don't like to say it. I wanted to go to Iowa. I did. I did.
Was that like a childhood dream or
Well,
just
it's like it's Iowa. You know what I mean? Like we're in the state of Iowa. You know what I mean? And you always see him like when I talk to you about Metcalf. Like
Yeah.
that's the first person like you see Metcalf. I was like, oh, this dude is nice. I'm trying to wrestle like him and everything, right? Jay Borchell, just all those guys. I mean, at one point in time, I wanted to go. I was like, look, man, I don't care. I'm going to Iowa,
Yeah.
right? Obviously that didn't happen. Ain't nothing against them. I'm just saying. I mean, I didn't go there, right? I didn't go there, right? I had Arizona State. I had teams like Princeton and a Harvard reach out to me. I'm like, come on, y'all know I'm not going there, right? I mean, that's a whole different ballgame. Like, anyway, that's a whole different ballgame. Yeah, the Ivy League schools, Arizona State, Nebraska. I think Kel was at Iowa State at that time.
no?
Was he not there?
No, he left in 2009.
Did he?
So the first year you won,
Okay.
he left right after that.
Okay. So he was at Penn State.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything from Kel, or John Smith. I wanted to go. So I really wanted to go to either Iowa or Oklahoma State because they fit my style, right? And then my brother ended up going to Nebraska, and I went on my campus, and Nebraska's a big family. So I was like, oh, I definitely want to be here too. So that's where I went. So I committed to Nebraska or verbal to Nebraska. Then I decommitted from Nebraska, and that was that was a lot. There's a lot of reasons on that one, but I won't say all that, right? And I still like Nebraska. Then I just ended up going to Iowa State. So
Yeah.
Yep.
So was that like once you decommitted from Nebraska, was it like was there something that influenced you to just like look the way of like Iowa State?
my brother,
Yeah.
he ended up stopped going to Nebraska. He said,
Okay.
I mean, what do you think about Iowa State? And I was like, dude, I'm going wherever you want to go. You know what I
Right.
mean? Right? Because me and my brother are really close.
Yeah, close,
Like we're really close, right? So I was like, dude, where do you want to go? And he's like, well, let's go to Iowa State. Well, I think he said something else, and I was like, I don't know about that, right? But I trusted him like 100%. I trusted him 100%. He's like Iowa State, and I'm like, okay. So then we had that whole visit. I think you were my guy, right?
That was definitely your host.
Yeah, you definitely my host.
Oh, you're his host.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
was-
gosh.
I know y'all. Ain't,
That's a different.
I know
story.
y'all ain't do nothing on here,
Hey.
bro.
I don't know what you're talking
What?
about.
2000. So you graduated 2000. So that would have been 2011. We had a good time. I definitely got you some hot fries.
Anyway, no, we did. He's a great host. He really is. He is. But that's all I wanted. I didn't want too much, right? But I think I'm not gonna go there.
My man, I went to the Come and Go on Welch and got you some hot fries.
Okay, that's that. But I'm talking about the whole time that you had me. It's a whole different subject. See, that's how they get you on the campus. I'll just say that's how you get you on the campus.
Oh, I know.
Right? I wanted to just be, but he wanted me to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you did want me to go out. So
I definitely took you out.
He
for
definitely
sure.
took me out.
Yeah.
He definitely took
He's
me
like,
out.
so he definitely took me out.
Oh yeah,
though.
he definitely took me out.
I got him some hot fries.
Yeah, he got me some hot fries. He took me out. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know, because obviously, like, come from like high school, like I was like very like sheltered in like high school, like so
Yeah.
it's like you go to college, like you're on your own,
Mhm.
right? So he took me out. I was like, okay,
This is different.
this is different.
Yeah.
So
And like even like when you got to college, even like that wasn't you.
no,
Like that wasn't you.
yeah,
And so like it was just like, which I guess that definitely could have like backfired in a way, because you have to, again, just like you talked about coaching on recruiting visits, you have to know what the recruit kind of
yeah,
wants.
you gotta know what you're
like-
dealing
like-
with for sure.
Like I think John and I had a decent relationship.
Yeah.
So just like
So, yeah,
being
so,
with
yeah, it was-
him,
that was fine.
was like that's what he needed, like like kind of like a family. Like he said, Nebraska was like a big family.
Yeah.
He needed a family environment, and so if I would have like took them and then like just like dropped them off, like, hey, you know, like take care of them, like, you know, like that would have just been
because
like,
some people be like that.
yes,
Like,
yeah.
hey, I'm about to go to this party. Can you watch the kid? I'm supposed to be out there. It's like,
I would have
dog,
dipped. I
you
would have
gotta-
gone. I mean, like, you didn't do that though. No, you're really good. You're really good. I think what was it? 2 days?
Yeah,
Did I stay the night with you?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we were at 2011, so that would have been Freddie Court. Yeah, we were staying at Freddie then.
Was it? I can't.
Oh, they had Freddie back then?
Yeah. That's when Freddie was it.
Freddie was.
Freddie was it.
It was.
Freddie was it for
It
sure.
was. It was. It was.
So then like you go through that recruiting process. It's kind of, would you say was it like a little bit overwhelming for you?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing was just the whole I didn't know. Like, this is, I can't wait till my kids get of age, right? So they want to show you everything on a recruiting visit. Like, they want to show you, like, a good time. Like, okay, like, we actually eat out here every day. You know what I mean? Like, they showed me such a good time. I was like, do we really get, because we called KJ. KJ was our coach at the time. I was like, do we really eat like this every day? He's like, every day? I was like, every day? Like, in my head, I was like, we eat here every day. And we ate at, was it Who Hot or whatever?
No, it's
Where was
Fuji.
it? Oh,
Fuji.
man. We ate at Fuji. It was so good. We ate somewhere else. I mean, just
Shout
The
out
private
Fuji.
room?
Yes.
The private room too.
Hey, they just, I mean, just everything. I was like, I was just full every day, just
Yeah.
like all the time, right? So I was like,
I love this.
yeah, I was
love
like, there's no way. But I mean, in my head, I was like, these dudes really feeding us out here. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, you know. So it was really easy for me. So when I went into the room and actually like talked to KJ, he was like, so what do you want? Obviously, we went over goals and everything. And I was like, look, it's a no-brainer. Like, we can sign right now, right? That's why I told him. He's like, oh, I know. He's like, I know you're gonna come. I know. I was like, me too. That's what I'll tell you. You know, I'm gonna come. You know what I mean? So it was a pretty easy process. Yeah, but before that, it was Nebraska, and like they were like really. I felt so bad, you know, but they were like really good too. So I don't want to take nothing away from them. So
Man, that's like my process wasn't as extensive as yours, I would say. You know,
I brought it out.
I feel like yours was pretty easy.
Yeah.
To an
for sure.
extent.
Yeah, for sure. Like I knew where I wanted to go for
Right.
the most part, you know.
Right.
So like it's cool to hear how you kind of figured out where you felt like you needed to be or where you wanted to be. Yeah, that's really like cool. Just like listen to you like break that down and what it was.
Because it's a process. You know what I mean? Like everyone's different. I'm sure Ben Keeter, you know what I mean? I'm sure he had like, you know, and everyone's different. I mean, especially if you're like, I mean, if you're winning enough and eyes are on you, right? I mean, the recruiting process, they really want to get you. They're going to put everything out. Like I said, like they brought everything. I was like, dang, I did not know we're going to be eating like this. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody's recruiting process is definitely different. So
So with that being said, what would you say for kids that are like probably going through that process now? What would you tell them? Like if you're a coach now, so what would you tell your kids that are on your team? What would you tell them to look for?
Well, first, I mean, you better be, if you're thinking D1, you better be someone of a good wrestler and have good grades, right? Because I always tell them, I'm like, it's student athlete. If you got any type of F, don't even say nothing to me. You're sent down, right? You know what I mean? That's just me, right? And the parents really like that too, because I'm like, I don't play it. I'm like, look, dude, don't come up to me. I'm sorry, I'm going off. Don't come up to me and your grades are looking like this and you thinking you're going to this school. It ain't happening, right? You better go to NAI or something. You know what I mean? But what I would say, take your time and be patient, right? Because there's going to be a lot of schools, especially if you're that guy, right? There's going to be a lot of schools reaching out to you, right? Just take your time, be patient, go up to the campus and actually see if this is what you really want, right? Because, I mean, there might be some schools like you might think a certain way at first, but when you go up to that school, you might not like that, right? So you have to take your visits too. I mean, just be patient and just see where the team's at as well. Do you want a family type of team or do you want something else? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is it the coach? You know, there's a lot of things that go into it. So
yeah, like I always tell kids too is like, you know, you want to obviously like pick a school too where you can see yourself succeeding academically because wrestling or whatever sport you're in is not always going to be there and you can get hurt tomorrow. So, because a lot of people's whole sole purpose is to go to college to do their athletics and then they get hurt and then they leave school, go back home, and you never hear from them again. So
Yeah.
I always try to tell kids to at least think about the academics first too, because that was one of my things too with Iowa State. When I came here, they had like a real good academic support, so that was one of the reasons why I came here too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
'Cause-
there's a lot that
Yeah.
that goes into that. You know what I mean? And I mean, they just have to do the right thing and let it be your pick. That's what you really want
Yeah,
to do.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, again, wrestling's not life. You know what I mean? Life goes on. I mean, I don't think you get paid that much for wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Or like football and like
yeah.
basketball, right?
No,
So I
seriously.
mean, you have to have a backup plan.
Yep.
Right now, if you love it, stay with it. I love it, so I'm staying with it.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what I would say.
What would you say for like the you know, because you know how you got some of those parents out there that try to push their kid to go to a certain school? Because I know someone personally, like he was telling me, he was like, yeah, you know, like my mom really wants me to go to UNI, but I want to go to Iowa State, and I want to take a visit to Iowa State, but she won't let me, like certain kind of thing, you know? So what do you have to say for like the parents that, like, because there's a lot of parents that are like that. They're like, oh, I want my son to go to this school, blah, 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 blah.
Well,
know?
this is what I kind of told my parents too. I mean, like my first priority is your kids, right? I get what you're saying. You know, I mean, I haven't had any of this at all because I mean, I make it clear, like, okay, the priority is your kids, right? Not you. I mean, your kid's gonna be. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. Like, and some like again, I haven't had this like, but some parents might say like, hey, I want my kid to practice with so and so. I'm like, my priority is your kid, and they're gonna do what I say or this coaching staff says. But I would say first, I would say you're wrestling. You're the one who's wrestling. This is your life, right? This is not your parents' life, right? Now they can help you, and that's what they're here for. But at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to college. You're the one who's going to have to, do what you're supposed to do in college. They're not there. There's no parents coming along. You are by yourself, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, it's up to you first. Where do you want to go, right? Then you can start talking to your inner circle or whatnot, or see what they want to say, then go on from there.
Right.
But it's really up to you. I mean, you
Yep.
just gotta. I mean, this is your life.
Yeah, they can't wrestle for
Yeah,
you.
you
They
can't
ain't gonna be
wrestle.
showing up to 6 a.m. practices.
So we always say like the crowd can scream, but they ain't gonna help.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh snap!
You know what I mean?
That's a bar right there.
I'm just saying. They
What you say? What is that?
so the crowd can scream, but they ain't gonna help. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like you get into like, okay, let me kind of take that back because there's one crowd that was just okay. Like crowds don't really affect anything, right? So when you're like wrestling, right, they can scream and whatnot. Ain't gonna matter. You're the one who's wrestling, right? That
Yeah.
doesn't matter. There's only one crowd though that actually had that effect. I ain't gonna say.
Was it hard wrestling in Hilton? Like, were you ever nervous?
No, Hilton wasn't. And when I wrestled in Iowa, that was the first time I was like, oh snap!
Yeah.
Like this crowd is kind of
First time
crazy.
I wrestled in Hilton was like that.
Woo. Yeah.
I was like, man. Like, I didn't even think you could like get nervous of like with like I don't know what it was, but I definitely was out there like not wrestling like how I was. I was like, it was just different, Like,
Yeah.
but once I got that under my belt, I was straight after that.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody gets nerves, but I mean, I don't think, that didn't really. But I like wrestling away anyway, so that was just
Yeah.
me. So,
I like that. The crowd can scream.
but they
I
can't
would,
help you.
yeah, but they can't help.
What about you,
I would say
Kyler?
it'd be like, what?
I said, what about you though? Like when your first time wrestling in Hilton was like
My shoulder fell out.
your first time?
Yeah.
Couple times.
No.
Couple
My
times.
first time in Hilton, bro, was traumatizing. Like, I'm like, bro,
That's exactly how you said it too. Back then too, he was like, "Hey, my shoulder."
my shoulder fell out, bro. Like, Oklahoma, wrestling Keldrick Hall. Was that November 28th, 2011?
You remember that, huh?
No. Go back in. Bro, like, traumatizing. Came out, got to a single right away, and I went flawed. That's why I call it. I went flawed. Got up to my feet with the leg, and because I was flawed, I went back down.
Technique is flawed.
Yes.
I get you.
The technique was flawed.
Yep. I get you.
And so I went to his right leg, single, boom, get it up with the leg, and he's defending hard. He was a big, strong, athletic guy. And I go back down to the mat, and I get extended and my shoulder comes out, and he just runs around me, and I'm kind of just like sitting there, like kind of like in a daze, like this isn't happening. And
Is that the first time it happened?
no, like I had 2 surgeries prior to that.
Okay.
So one on the left side, one on the right side. My whole senior year of high school, I wrestled with the left one torn, and then I tore this one at U20s in the semis. Still won U20s, but just couldn't wrestle in the world team trials. But then, that happened in the match, and I remember being down and losing, and I was like, I can't lose just like looking at this dude. Like I literally begged Kevin Jackson, KJ, and Tim Wiesner to like let me finish the match. Like I was like, let me finish the match. Like I'll figure out how to win. Like I've done it. Like I did it in high school. Like I did it at U20s. Like I'll figure out how to win. Like that was like my mentality. And I go back out there and I'm trying to figure it out, and just wasn't solving the problem. Like
Pieces wasn't fitting.
So like I take another shot. I get to the leg. I come up and I'm trying to turn out, and I reach up my left hand to like it's like you get to a low single and you sit to your butt and you like turn it over and come out the back door, and my shoulder came out again, and I literally just like stopped and kind of like sat there like, what? And the guy like defends and runs around it, and I literally remember this lady go, "Come on, Kevin, you're supposed to be good." And I'm just like kind of like it was like like you've seen the warrior, the samurai's death, like it's literally like I got like this sword, and I'm just like like, and it was just like, it was terrible, bro. Like like mentally, physically, emotionally, like it just like took everything from me, like spiritually. Like I just was like in like shock. And
I heard somebody say, throw a pillow out there. Throw a pillow out there.
Like it was
especially when you're like just laying on the ground.
Yeah, like
give him a pillow down there.
No, that was a different match.
Oh, was it? Okay.
That was a different match. That was a different match.
They was on you in another match too.
No, that was that. Do you remember that though?
Yes, I
that was
do.
That was
give him a pillow down there. I was like,
that was a coach from Kent State.
Yeah,
the coach from Kent State.
He was
so remember we had a bunch of travel woes.
Oh, I remember.
Had a bunch of travel woes, and that was going to national duels in 2013-14 season. 2013-14 season. Yep. I was ranked number 1, and this dude, like, it was just like we had traveled like a bunch. Like my weight was a little bit higher than it probably should have been. So when we got into town, I had to cut weight until like maybe 1 or 2 a.m. So like our plane kept getting delayed, and like mentally I wasn't locked in. That was a year after my father passed, so I wasn't like super locked in. And I remember we got there, stayed up till like 2 a.m. cutting weight, and like mentally I just didn't want to be at the tournament. Like really didn't want to be at the tournament. We get there, weigh in, whatever, and we got Kent State first round. And it's Cole Baxter. You can go watch the match on Flow if you got an account. Cole Baxter. I got the takedown first, and then he might have either got a reversal or a takedown, and he was just riding me. And I was kind of just like down there in a daze, like just kind of like in a daze, which happened, I can admit, way too often. Just trying to navigate life. And the coach from Kent State goes, yeah, what did he say, John?
Give him a pillow down there.
Yeah. And I swear to you, Todd,
there's some fruit this week.
Something arose in me. It triggered me. Like it had hit like an ego spot or something.
That's it.
I was just like, nah, bro, I can't let him get away with that.
I can't even go out
like
that's
that. Bad.
Yeah.
But like coaches, in my opinion, coaches have to be very opposite coaches. You got to know your guy, and you got to know who the person is you're dealing with. Like I promise you, in my thought process, because of everything that was going on, if he would have just not said anything, they probably would have got away with a dub.
Yep.
Because I just wasn't locked in.
Right.
And then he said that, and it was just like, It was like you like got exercised or something. Like
Yep.
it was like an exorcism, and it was just like, nah, bro. Like now I can't let your boy get away with one. Like
It was
he was
just
about to
that
he was about to
ego.
get a dub over the number one dude in the country, and
Yeah.
then you had to open your mouth.
Well, luckily,
shut up.
luckily he said something.
Yeah.
That's
and
ruthless.
woke you up.
That's
Yeah.
ruthless.
Yeah.
Some fans out of pocket sometimes. Like,
Oh yeah.
give him a pillow down there. Like, where do you even come up with this?
Did you ever see when we were this wasn't this season, but last season we were wrestling Oklahoma, and we were down there, and Ramazan was wrestling whoever's 33-pounder they had at the time.
Okay.
And some guy in the crowd took his phone and threw it at Ramazan on the mat.
Dang.
Yeah,
I can
Really?
believe it.
like, and we all because we're well, the way it was like they had their mats and then they got the bench set up right up against the mat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when he threw it, we like literally saw it and we look up, we're like, and the dude's just coming down the stairs like he was about to do something. We're like, bro, like y'all cannot be, y'all are out of pocket.
Yeah.
like,
Hey,
this-
Oklahoma.
Yeah, like I'm
Well,
like,
you know about
Oh, I
Oklahoma.
know.
Oh.
I definitely know about Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Man, they're wild.
right. I'm like,
Wow.
and it was like off of like Ramazan just got in a position, was like scoring, and I guess the guy called injury time, he got hurt, and then that's when the dude just threw his phone. I'm like,
People are
Mugs
That's
Wow.
ridiculous.
and nobody in the crowd said anything to him. They were just all kind of like,
I ain't
do
gonna
this.
lie. If I was in that
Like-
Oklahoma crowd, I wouldn't say nothing either. I'd just be like, it is what it is.
wow. So like when you yeah, man, people are crazy. When you like run back through like your college career, what would you say was your high, like, or something like you're really like proud of in your college career, and what would you say was like your low?
Low for sure is losing. I hate losing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I kind of did that to myself. I'm an honest person. Like I think it was more of my, my eating habits, right? I remember I'll just tell a story. One example of my bad eating habits. So I was hungry, right? I was hungry. I was hungry. I was really hungry. And I'm like, look, man, I'm not eating nothing in this refrigerator right now. I'm not doing it, right? In my process, I'm not doing it, right? So I'm like, look, there's a McDonald's right over there, right? Only about 5 minutes from where we were, right? At the time, I didn't know that they had people watching you. Like, it's like when you're in the classroom, right? You're in the classroom. Like, you know how they do those checks? You know how they do
The
those
class
checks. in the
checkers,
classroom. Like,
yeah.
you know they do those. Like, and if you mess up, you're going to get a call or a text, right? So
Yeah.
I'm hungry, right? I want to eat. So I go to McDonald's. I was just thinking, like, in my head, like, I knew I should have went through the drive-thru. Like, something was telling me, just go through the drive-thru.
he got caught getting out his car.
Man, nah, I was in there, right? And I'll never forget it because I always get, I get a double cheeseburger, large fry, and a Sprite. That's what I get.
Oh, he
It is what it
remembered.
is.
That
I
man-
remember.
that man said I get-
Hey,
I get the number 7.
Right? So I get it, right? And not even a little bit. Like, I get a text, like, come to my office, KJ, from KJ. I'm like, this is kind of weird right now. Like,
Just
in
got
my
my
head,
food.
right? This weird, right? I was like, why is this dude? It was on the weekend. I told you this or something. I was like, what's going on, right? So I'm like, I go to his office. I'm like, hey, he says, hey, sir, what were you doing? What are you eating? I'm like, and like, in my head, I was like, I know what I was eating. I was eating real good too. I was like, nothing? I didn't eat nothing. He's like, Meeks, what did you eat? And I'm like, I'm lying to him. I'm like, look, man, I didn't eat nothing. He's like, I know you were at McDonald's. Then I had to tell him. I was like, yeah, I was. It is
Yeah,
what
I
it
got
is.
that double cheeseburger with
Yeah,
large
hey,
fries.
man, and it was good too. But I mean, KJ's like you can't. I mean, he's intimidating. He is, right? But anyway, I think it was more of my eating habits that kind of like derailed some of that stuff. And obviously, you had injuries and stuff, but that's excuses. You know what I mean? But a lot of that's all on me, right? And I mean, I can go other ways with this, but for this fact, I think it's more of my eating habits. That's probably the low one, like just the losing. Like, there's only 2 people that I know for sure that there's no way I was going to beat these dudes. Like, just in my head, I was like, there's no way. That was Anthony Astronaut
Okay.
and Andrew Long. I don't know what Andrew Long was on. I do not know. And that was at the Cyclone Open. And I'm telling you, I was trying to hit this guy with everything possible, and it just felt like he was a solid rock.
He was grown though.
Yeah,
He was grown at that time.
There was no way this guy, he weighed, I think I was either 41, I think it was 141. There was no way he was 141 pounds. I don't care what the scale said. I shot on this dude, and I was like, okay, there's just no way I'm taking this dude down.
Wait, what
today.
year was that though?
and even my sophomore or junior year. I know he went to Grandview because he was at say he had that little thing, and then Grandview. This man was a grown man. I don't know what he was doing, but he was a grown man, and I
He was
shot
definitely
on him.
grown.
There's nothing I could possibly do to beat this guy. There's only two, him and Anthony Ashenall. Anthony Ashenall wrapped me up so fast, I was like, okay, it is what it is, right? I think he ended up teching me too. That was bad.
Really?
Yeah.
In folk style?
Yes. This dude got on top.
I can't relate. 15 points in folk style?
Dude, I'm telling you, man. He got on top. This is why I was like still figuring out bottom.
Oh, wow.
He got on top, and he rode me up so good. I was really contemplating, like, dang, it's a wrap for me. It's over. Right? Like, it's over.
Wow.
Right? He beat me so bad it wasn't even funny. There's only two guys. Those two. Everybody else I knew I could beat. It was just what I was eating, and then that resulted into injuries and obviously all this other stuff, right? Yeah. But in the practice room, it was completely different,
Yeah,
It was like, okay, who wants it today? Seriously, who wants it today? I think there's
No, you wrestled hard.
Like, I don't think you understand. Like, it was really like that. Like, who wants it today? But then there's just like something that probably just didn't click. And I'm more of a person who is like, I'm more technical, so I need like a game plan. Like, and
Right,
I mean, sometimes I wasn't there, but that's here or there. So that was my low. Low was like just losing. High is when it was when I first got there. I beat Thomas from Illinois. He was ranked at the time, and I did beat him. So you can look that up because we're talking about this, right? And I did beat because we have some arguments sometimes. I'm like, look, man, I'm not gonna go there. That's a whole different story.
Me and him
That's
too.
a different story, and he already knows. I already told him. But anyway, Thomas, and then I had to face Joe Cologne, right? I lost, but I actually won, and everybody saw that match. I did win, but I lost.
Against
Joe Cologne.
Okay.
Right? So I took him down. I think it was like, I can't remember the score, but I took him down, and I had two. But so I'm behind. So I took him down. So I shoot a shot. I get behind him, like my head's in between his legs, like he's facing that way, and I take him down, right? Both hands here. Knees hit. Got him. Over. Wrap. Call two. Ref didn't call two. The guy reaches around and grabs my body, right, and just locks on. And the ref's like, no two. I'm like,
that was at 41 or 33?
33.
33.
That was the year after. That was 2012.
Yeah.
That was 2012 at the Cyclone Open, right?
That's
right
when
away.
I start calling me Johnny Wrestling or something like that.
Yeah, I started calling because that's when Johnny Manziel was
popping.
Yeah.
like I probably did not help with the pressure.
He did not.
I probably did not.
He was hyping it up hard. I was like, dang. Because I definitely won. And Joe Cologne, I won. I don't care what you say. I won that match, but I lost. So
I definitely probably didn't help with the pressure. And that's where I can recognize my flaws as a captain, leader.
I thought you were good.
Yeah, but like I feel like I was so worried often at times about what I was dealing with that I didn't have the capacity to understand
Everybody.
like, what was
needed for
what John needed to be successful and try to help him find that. Like I was trying to figure out how to deal with, like my dad's situation and my family situation, trying to stay healthy. And so like as a leader, I feel like I could have been more aware and more selfless. And I would have helped the team be better.
Right.
It's like that's something that I like often revisit and feel like, all right, you can't do anything about that now, but like you can be better moving forward. And so
right. That's all you can do.
What
was your welcome to college moment?
Oh, man. So, like, like when you're like, when you get into college and, I mean, you've done something, you think you're that guy. You know what I mean? Like everybody.
But you
gets
are.
it. Okay.
You definitely you're that guy, and you're just coming in a
right?
space where there's more guys.
Yeah, like there's like I wasn't realizing there's more guys, right? I was just thinking like you're the guy, right, in my head. I wrestled Luke Ghetto. You know Luke Ghetto.
Luke Ghetto, yeah, he was just here. He was just visiting.
Luke Ghetto. So and I didn't even know like how the practice scenario was gonna go, but this day we're wrestling live. And I was like, okay, Luke Ghetto, okay, whatever, right? From Arizona, I think, right?
Yeah, Arizona cat.
He beat me so bad. I mean, it's like when you're just contemplating life, right? You're like, I shouldn't even be here. Why am I doing a D1 wrestler at Iowa State? He took me down. You know what? when the guys they're just wrong. They put their hand on your head and all that stuff, and I'm like, dang, I'm on the wall, I'm breathing hard. He's putting his hand on his head. He's legging me. I'm getting turned. I mean, I must have give up 100 points or something. I don't know what it was. Right?
wow.
Man, he beat the dog snot out of me. And I'm like, man. And afterwards, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, man, I don't even know if I should be doing this right now. He beat me so bad. I was like, dang, you didn't even have to do. And he was the nicest person ever. Like, you didn't have to do me like that, man. You could have gave me, a chance, something. So that was my welcome to college moment. He beat the dog snot out of me. And then I thought I could take on like Leland and Tanner Weatherman, which I don't know what I was thinking at all.
But that's the type of confidence
Yeah,
you like need
yeah.
to kind of like be
So
successful.
I was like shooting on Leland Weatherspoon and never could sniff his legs. I mean, it was just like, okay, this is pointless. And I was like a 33 and they're like 70 pounders, but I just thought I was that guy. Right? Then Tanner Weatherman, the same thing. Tanner Weatherman beat me so bad, and Tanner Weatherman's nice, but I didn't know he was gonna like club me like he does because he does that to everybody. Now that I knew, he messed me up really bad. So it was not fun. That was not fun.
Yeah.
That was not fun at all.
Nah.
Luke Ghetto gave me the business that day. I was like,
Mingus High School, Arizona. Luke was a four-time state
yeah,
champ.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I was just like, okay. I think he just like, just go wrestle Luke, and I was like, okay. And Luke.
He was a
for it.
40. He was a 49 too.
Yeah, he was.
49,
Yeah.
57. He had a win over Kendrick Maple.
Yeah, he
in
was.
college. Like he was tough.
Yeah, he was.
I feel like consistency is always like the biggest piece of college wrestling, or just like success in general, right?
I think,
like
any sport, really.
Yeah, it's just being like consistent and, like you can be consistent for a year, you can be consistent, and like figuring out what makes you consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, everyone has their own different like struggles and woes, whether that's injuries, like vitamin deficiencies, like all these different things, family issues, all these things play into how successful you can often be, your ability to deal with stress, media, external stimuli.
There's a lot, but I mean that's a whole different ballgame I'm not gonna get into.
I got you. Wait, so your favorite wrestler, who's your Mount Rushmore of folk style wrestling? Like who's on your Mount?
Is that 4?
Yeah, 4 or 5. We put
Like-
an extra face on.
Like just mine personally?
yeah, yours
Yeah.
personally, not what, yeah, not Chat GPTs. There.
I like Metcalf.
Is he one or is he the 4th president?
I don't know. Metcalf was just like that guy.
Bro, Metcalf in college was like,
It was vicious,
bro.
Yeah, like Metcalf.
He had
was
dudes
there.
scared.
for sure,
Like,
for sure.
scared to wrestle him.
I like Metcalf. I mean, I didn't even look at it like that, but it's a lot of Iowa wrestlers, so I don't want to give them too much. You know what I mean? So I'll just say Metcalf. I can't even give the 4 because they're all Iowa wrestlers, and I'm not doing that. I'm just
Well,
not
you
doing
just
that.
told us.
It is what it is, but I'm not giving that. I'm not giving it. Nope.
I got you.
I'm a cycle until I die.
Like I used to think Metcalf was like just this like demon or something, right? And then I finally got here. I'm like,
He's
he
so
joke
good.
around and he
Yeah.
chill with everybody,
Yeah.
just like
I hated him. I hated as a high schooler. I hated it.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, oh man, I despise it. But like, yeah, like now, like meeting him, like and being around him and getting to like,
He's a cool dude.
yeah, like he's like,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
chill. He just has crazy eyes.
Yeah, I love Metcalf.
His cra-
well,
he,
he's
like,
just
he has-
when he's telling
yeah,
stories, like
his,
you
we,
know,
have,
like-
we have to find a way to get him on here.
yeah, we
Like
do.
he has crazy eyes. Like his eyes just like his passion. He's so passionate. Like his eyes like light up.
yeah,
Like it's just like stuff like that you see like coming up. Like I'm a big Iowa State fan. Like I
Right.
love Iowa State. I'm going to Iowa State. He's Iowa.
Yeah.
Like he's just the enemy. Like that's just how it was for
How it
me.
was, yeah.
And like again, like he's 19, 20, 21, 22, right? And you see this version, and like I know who I was at 19, 20, 21, 22, and like I'm like, you can't judge anybody off that.
It's different.
You can't judge anyone off like,
Different.
in my opinion, like what they did at 22.
Right.
Like what type of like the Iowa crowd did not like me at 22. You know what I mean? And so like, yeah, no, like meeting Metcalf and like actually getting to be around him and see like who he is as a person was like, it was good for it to happen because all you see is kind of this facade that's like built up.
Yeah, like what they portray him to be,
Yeah.
basically.
You know, like you don't get that external background,
Yeah.
and people have the chance to share their part of the story. All you see is maybe an interaction that he had with KJ, right? Like I saw those interactions, I'm like, I hate him. But like now, like having interactions with him being around like my kid, me being around his kids, just totally different.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, especially because at the time that he was about to wrestle Caldwell, I was actually going up to PA in Jersey, and I was getting privates done by Caldwell. So
Really,
I definitely was like, yeah, I don't like this guy, you know, kind of thing. And then he pushed him when he did the backflip. So I was really like, yeah, I don't like this.
Oh,
dude.
Caldwell. Okay, I thought you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Darren Caldwell.
I was upset about that one.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was.
his feelings was probably big.
It was hurt.
Caldwell
I
was
didn't talk
just
to
like one of
anybody.
them. He had a weird style. It was
Can't
unorthodox.
stand him.
Like it was just weird.
I'm sorry, I can't stand Caldwell.
No, you could.
This man, the audacity of this dude. But whatever.
You talking about in that match?
Yes, the audacity.
What?
I would have pushed him
What?
too.
What?
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey,
No, man, you can't be celebrating. What? There's like 5 seconds left.
There
of
is
the match.
not any,
Yes, there was.
bro. When he
Dude.
pushed him, there's not time.
I'm not gonna lie. But I think it was a slide by. He slid him by too.
That was
bro.
filthy.
It was nasty.
was-
And then the scramble. I think Metcalf shot a high crotch. I remember.
Oh
that
my!
was
I don't
Oh,
even
when
know.
he-
I don't know
Yeah,
how he got
yeah,
out of
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
He
that
was just like scooting,
and
then
he got it. I was
around.
like, "There's no way he's really doing this right now." I was upset.
At least not on Mecca. Mecca was like that
Yeah.
year is like finishing at a high
I was
rate.
there in
like-
person. in
Oh,
St.
you was
Louis.
there?
Yeah,
That was bad.
That was probably crazy, huh?
it was crazy.
Oh, that ticked me off.
It was crazy.
That's when I liked Iowa, but now it's like, I mean, nah, not even a little bit.
I mean, I can understand why he, I guess, celebrated. I mean, he did like come out and left head.
Well, 5 seconds left. I was like, this dude was celebrating hard.
I mean, think about how he beat him though. He just like,
He
But
did.
you were never a big celebrator.
No, but
yeah.
still, it's like you
even
don't-
when
if
you like
there's
won
time-
your first title or your fourth, like you were
No.
very like you're a very like mild person.
Well,
Like,
that's what I mean. You weren't told that. Like, I mean, you don't celebrate. I was told that. Like, you just don't celebrate when you win or something like that. I mean, I think that.
I mean, I
a thing
wasn't
in
personally
Iowa.
told that, but it was just a upbringing that I was just a humble guy.
It's like
I
you've
just,
been there already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
so.
but I
like
haven't.
how Dresser says he goes. He
You
goes,
want to.
we got to act like we've been here before. You
See,
know what I mean?
yeah.
yeah. See,
I'm-
I was told that.
I'm definitely of a different cloth because I don't care. Like
Yeah, dude hit the whole whip.
Hey, man. You know how I'm saying I don't care, Kyvan. I've been waiting way too long for this. This dude, he won his national championship. And he had that interview. He said he just wanted some ice cream. And I told you prior before that. I said, if I would have won a national championship, I would have said, all I want is hot fries. And this man spinning around and said, all he wants is ice cream.
I don't recall.
Yeah, see, he don't recall it. He don't recall it. He said, I was like, dang, this dude did not just do that. This dude got ice cream off the yin yang.
Hey,
It's unbelievable. Hey, that's solid though. I give you
I
that.
tell you right
Hey,
now,
that's pretty solid.
if
I
he
ain't
was
gonna lie.
if he was wrestling in today's society, he'd be a millionaire right now.
Hey, yeah, you probably
Right
would.
now.
You
I had-
probably
He
I
would
had
have got.
NIL deals are.
Yeah, he would have got picked up by somebody ice cream company.
Somebody would have did it right. I would have came back for another year probably. I'd have took the medical.
Bro, you would have been in ice cream commercials, bro.
PQ.
Like that's crazy.
Crazy. Hey, just so you know, I do retroactive NIL deals.
Oh,
like if anybody wants to know, I will do a retroactive NIL deal. No, it's wild. So then like now, John, you're a father of two. You're married. You're a husband. What's that like being able to? I don't know if you can balance, but that work-life wrestling integration with family. How do you work around that?
So my wife, Madison, she's really good at that whole managing and understanding what I like to do. Like, I mean, I couldn't pick anybody better, right? Because it is kind of hard because, I mean, you spend so much time, like, I mean, I have 2 kids, but it's like I have like 60, right? So, I mean, you have to find that time where you can give, like, them something, like the team, and then obviously your family. Like, I do not like going to, like, tournaments like Donnybrook because I'm away from my family, or Bettendorf, right? Because it's hard on Till sometimes because, I mean, 2 kids, I mean, 1 kid's tough. I mean, there's a lot that, women do these days is just, like, doesn't go accounted for, right? So it's good to have like a really good rock. But she's just really good with everything. I mean, but it's tough at times, but I think she understands it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And Madison was a student athlete.
she was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iowa State.
Yep,
Okay.
she was. Yeah.
They're like the oddest couple in terms of
No,
like,
we're
just
not.
like not in terms of like who they are as people, but like if you look at it, just like a visual of looking at it. Like John, how tall are you? 5?
I'm 5. I say 5'6" on a good day.
Okay, my man's 5'5". All right.
I'm 5'6". I am 5'6".
5'5".
Don't do
And
it
Maddie's
like that.
6'4".
Yeah. She
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
I wonder like how tall do you think Tilly's gonna be?
Tilly's gonna be 6'2".
Okay.
She's gonna be 6'2", and then Sloaney might be like, if she's 5'11" or something like that, would be fine. But I think
He
she'll
said I'll be
6
5.
I mean, she'll be 6'2". I mean, me and Maddie are like, I mean, we're the same, but like we're opposite. Maddie's like a fun, like, you know, talkative, like friends with everybody. You know, I'm like, everyone loves Maddie. I'm like, look, you guys can kick rocks today. Seriously, right? I just want to, you know, I have a tight knit, and that probably I always just brought up, I just have a tight knit. Like, if you're not in there, it's like, I mean, don't really mean anything to me. You know what I mean? So that's just me.
That's awesome.
I know. It is what it is.
That's awesome, man.
Hey, are you going to come to the practice room?
What practice room?
Waukee?
You got my money?
See, this dude right here, man. This
What?
dude right here.
You didn't. I haven't got an invite in a while.
Invite.
That's because he's been going up to the enemy.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm not going to, because I really like V. I like V like a lot, Coach Volmecki. But we'll talk about that off camera.
But
We'll talk about that off camera.
hey, Haven got a 529 fund. A 529 plan. You
Did
know
she?
what that is? Yeah.
Now, what is it?
It's a college plan for kids that you
Oh,
can
okay.
put. Yeah. So like you bring me in, then it goes to Haven's 529 plan.
Okay. This man. right
Yeah.
here.
So hey, you gotta go to these kids.
Like, but you, like, so we talked about that now that you brought that up. So now you got me on a whole spin here, right? So we talked about that. He actually called me because Kyvan's really good. Like I said, I mean, you have that tight knit and you're like, it's strong. So he called me and he said, hey, just letting you know, I'm going to be here, so-and-so. I'm like, okay. And I told you that's fine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I said, whatever. I mean, that's fine. But, I mean, I think it's a rivalry. I mean, Northwest. So, in all, we split, right? So it was Waukee at one point.
Right.
We were really nice.
yeah, they were. They were
we
super
were
good.
nice, unbelievable. And then we split. So it's Waukee Northwest and it's Waukee. I decided to stay at Waukee, and then pretty much the whole staff went to Waukee Northwest, right? So I'll stop there because I'll just get riled up. So.
And then the year that you guys split, Northwest takes second at state. And like that, literally, if they wouldn't have split, I think they would have won.
We would have won.
They would have won.
So I don't know why they did this. I'm trying to say it a nice way. So it's on where your location is, right? But for some reason,
Like zones.
yeah, like I mean your address, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how they did that, right? But for some reason, oh, I got to watch my wording here because I really like V. I really do. Whatever, I'm saying it. So the really good athletes were all at Northwest for some reason. I don't know why that was. I don't know what happened. And then, I mean, everybody else is here. And don't get us wrong. Like we had some, but it wasn't like a big like womb, right? They were like good at everything. I think they won. I think their football team was good. Wrestling was good. Basketball was good.
Well, but Omaha.
Yeah,
Bill-
Omaha. Yeah, that's when he came
stayed.
back though.
Oh.
That's when he came back.
He came back?
So he was at Academy, I think, IMG or something like that. I don't want to get that wrong, but like some school like that. But every sport on their end was like really good. So that's why, I mean, we'll see what happens in the next couple of years. And we're going to see you guys, V. I know he's listening. We're going to see you guys. He knows about that because he's very competitive too. And he knows.
Bring V on.
He knows. Please bring V on because he actually. I mean, he's one of the guys who actually, he changes lives. I mean, because I wasn't doing anything, and then I got a call and to come to Waukee, but he's really a good person. Like seriously, like he's really a good person in and out. But we're coming, right? We're coming. We are coming. And
I love Coach B. Coach B's hilarious.
I know they're good, but we are coming. We are coming for you dudes. And it might not be this year. It might be next year. It might be the year after. Whatever. It's
we
on
coming.
site. We are coming.
That's hilarious.
They're
Have you ever
coming.
seen that interview with Brandon Marino? He's like, it might not be today. It
Yeah.
might not be tomorrow, but I will be. I promise you, there's one thing. There's one thing. Is he fighting today? I will be champion
yeah.
of the UFC one day. You remember that? Have you seen that interview?
Uh-huh.
Oh, we not.
I know you're talking about.
That's just so hard because I mean we know
And then he lost
each other.
two. He lost two in a row after that.
That's tough. We know, you know what I mean? We know each other, and I mean, we know what they have. They know what we have, and it's like they're friends. And sometimes friends don't want to face friends, right? And they kind of get, a little nervous. But that's got to end. I'm talking about my guys. Like that's got to end. They can be your friends afterwards. Because I mean, like I'm sure you faced your friend one time, and you're like, look, man, it's either you or me. We can be friends after, right? Weren't you like that? Like, it's either you or me. And that's got to end.
Hey, it had to be him.
Yeah, when it's like, hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure they do not care. But I'm trying to get this through my athletes because we face them right away. November 30th. We face these
You have the
dudes.
date already?
Dude, I have it circled. November 30th. We face these guys right away. And I'm like, I don't care if they're your friend. I don't care if they're your mom, your dad. I don't care.
Said it.
You are wrestling to win. That's what you're doing. It's a big deal. And like I said, I love Bean. He knows it. I love him. But when it comes to this type of thing, like he wants to beat us. We want to beat them.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, look, a lot of these guys are friends. Y'all better kick rocks on that day. It is about, hey, we're trying to beat you, dude. So they better get it together. It ends. That's ridiculous. I hate it. I do. That's just me. That's just me just getting passionate. Like, I do not care. If it was my brother for a state championship, you better believe I'm taking something home with me. It does not matter.
I mean,
I love my brother. I love my
mom's
brother.
lines up across and she puts on her red ankle band
Dude.
and I got on the green one, I'm hitting the low single.
We got
Dude, I'm going straight double mode to the back. I'm not playing. And I love my mom. Everybody knows I love my mom dearly. I'm not doing it. They just got to understand, like, there is no friends in wrestling. Afterwards, you can be friends. You can be friends. That's fine. Because, you create relationships. But I'm telling you right now, they are not going to care that they are facing you on that certain day, right, in that match. They're not going to care.
So, like, as a coach, how do you get your kid to like adhere to that or like understand like, hey, it's okay to turn this on and off and compete with high intensity, high effort, and yeah, like how do you get your kid to turn
So
that on and off?
everyone's different, right? So like I said before, like you have to talk to a certain kid a different way than you talk to some. Some kids you can say, look, dude, you better go out there and you better compete right now, right? And make it real simple. And some you have to like really break it down like, look, you got to understand what's kind of on the line here, right? I'm not trying to put pressure on you, but I'm just saying, like, that's what it is, right? So, you just talk to kids certain ways. You can't really scream at certain kids. And this is why I tell kids, and I've been saying this quite a bit. I said, when I tell them something, I say, hey, don't listen to the tone or the voice, right? Listen to the message behind the voice. You know what I mean? Because some kids, when you say something like, hey, you need to work better on your takedowns, they kind of take it as a shot where I'm trying to tell you, like, look, we got to do more to get better at this specific area, right? So that's what I kind of say too.
Yeah, like you said earlier, you gotta you can't coach everybody the same, and you can't talk to everybody the same. You know, because everybody learns a different way and they receive the message a different way. So you gotta, as a coach, you gotta find that balance. You know, so
yeah, that's because we do have some pretty talented athletes, but you just have to talk to them a different way. Because I think as coaches, we expect a lot and we see a lot, but when they don't show it, right, it's like you kind of get frustrated there, right? So
I got you.
I'm sure they're frustrated with me. I would say sometimes, I'm like, I'm sure they were. I think you're talking about it. I'm like, look, man, I understand. Like I say, I put that all on me. I'll put it back on me. You know, that is what it is, right? But you learn from those, and then you try to talk to your athletes a certain way. So
That makes sense. I just want to let everybody know that I was in great shape, and John tries to say that I wasn't.
Okay. I don't know how much time we have on here, and I'm not trying to take all your guys' time, right? But enough is enough. Okay. This man is not telling y'all the truth. Okay, I didn't want to do it. I didn't think he was going to talk about it, right? But this dude was not in shape. He was not. This dude got
You hear
tired.
that?
Okay,
That's
so he
crazy.
was in shape, but this man got tired every match. Look him
like-
up. I'm telling y'all right now. Look up his matches right now.
I feel like if
Look
you're
up his matches right now.
I feel like if
this
you're
man
scoring
was huffing
points,
and puffing. He
you're
was not
supposed-
scoring. This we had another argument about this. I was like, Kyvan, a lot of your matches were like 2-3.
they were controlled
See what I mean?
domination.
Okay, control domination. I already knew what he did. Then he laughed when I said what he did. It was like, okay, it was a slide by, right? Take him down. All right, you cut him. Okay, second period comes. Somebody goes down. Okay, now it's 2-2. Okay, you go down. You get up. It's 3-2. That's the match.
That's not.
Yeah, it is.
Yo,
Schiller from Minnesota. Was it or was it not?
that's one person.
Okay, I'm just saying that. I just gave you proven fact. Jada Costa was the same thing too. But we're not talking about. I'm not even gonna say what you know I'm gonna say. We're not talking about. You know what I'm saying, right? I'm just saying it all. Yeah, I'm not doing it, Kyvan. I'm not doing
what
it.
you're saying.
He knows exactly what I'm saying because
I
we have
don't.
arguments
I
about it all the
can't.
time.
I don't
like
recall.
he was in shape, but he got tired. This man was huffing and puffing, and you know you were. You know you
Bro,
were.
I had strep throat.
See, there we
I
go.
did.
See,
I had to get my tonsils
I
removed. I had to
I
get
don't
my
think-
tonsils removed.
I d-
I got my tonsils removed
know.
after my sophomore season.
I think we're on a break.
What do you mean?
Wasn't that in the summer?
I no, right after season, I got my tonsils removed.
Yeah, after season.
Yeah, because I had strep throat the whole season. I was winning under adverse conditions,
Wait, you
bro.
had strep throat for a whole season?
I had like 3 different bouts
See,
with strep
look,
throat.
Look, I own it. Okay, I own it. Okay.
What do you mean? I'm not owning it.
I
Bro
own
had
it.
strep for a year.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I had to get my tonsils out. I ain't had strep throat since.
I understand, but he is really like. Sometimes when we say something, like Kyvan like tries to swing it, it makes me look like the bad guy, and I am not. I'm like, this is ridiculous right here. I'm just saying, I own it. What I say, I own
Bro,
it.
I was in shape, bro. That's crazy.
He was in
What
shape
year is this? You talking about?
every year that we were
Can you see this?
every year that we were there.
That's
I'm
crazy.
telling you, I am
every
telling you,
year.
this man was huffing and puffing hard.
That's because I didn't know how to breathe.
See what I mean? Everything's just coming up. Okay, I had strep throat. I didn't know how to breathe.
I didn't know how to breathe through my nose. I got sleep apnea. I got sleep apnea, bro.
Todd,
I'm really
get this
focused
guy.
on nose breathing.
Please get this guy. You can't bring me on the camera, man, because I'm gonna tell you how it is. I actually held back because I had a lot to say, but I wasn't gonna say it because I was told not to say it. But now that he went that far, and this is just one thing, he went that far. Enough's enough.
Right,
He was.
right.
He was hands down. Unbelievable.
Well, yo, I am working on nose breathing right now. That's a process for me. That's important. But yo, like John, this was super fun. As you can tell, Haven is here. You want to say anything? Okay, all right, I'll take care of that for you. But thank you for coming on.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah, man, this was fun. This
Yeah, I
was fun.
appreciate it. Thanks for
Haven's
having me
fine.
on. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna say any more because I took too much of you guys' time, but thank you. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
No, we love this. Awesome. Oh,
Oh boy.
last thing we're gonna do our rapid fire segment. Rapid fire. So we're gonna throw a word at you. You tell us the first thing that come. Okay. What's the word? Here. Say the word. Rapid fire segment. You gotta say it. Hurry.
Say anything.
Robinson.
What's the word?
I love Daddy.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so nice. All right, rapid fire segment. Okay, let's go.
Can I just say one word?
One word or a sentence.
Okay.
What do you think, Todd?
Yeah, one word or a sentence.
Okay, one word. Rapid fire segment. Okay. Iowa State.
Fire.
Food.
Delicious.
Family.
Everything.
Wrestling.
Life.
Favorite move.
Front headlock.
Oh, wow. Favorite wrestler.
Metcalf. Metcalf.
Sloan.
Love her to death. Love her to death.
Tilly.
Oh, love her to
Cherry.
death.
Cherry.
I said Tilly.
Did you say Tilly or Cherry?
Cherry.
Cherry.
Not a fan.
Cherry.
Yo, let's see. I don't think I have anything else. I don't have anything else. That was good. That's good.
Cherry.
Okay.
Cherry.
He already said cherry.
Cherry.
He's not a fan of cherries.
Not a fan.
Well, this was good, man. I appreciate you coming on and not trying to break down my wrestling career. too
No,
much. I
you
appreciate
don't.
that.
You're really good. I'm just saying. Like whatever.
I'm learning to breathe. Will you ever
Cherry.
will you consider like wrestling on a stalemates card or anything like that?
Me and you. No, I'm playing.
I would wrestle Austin Anderson from Ankeny. I would wrestle him in a heartbeat.
This man,
And,
Whoa,
he, already,
what?
and he already knows.
Wait,
Austin
why
Anderson.
you saying like that?
Because
Though?
this man, we're at districts. I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. You got me on the camera now. I'd say we're at districts, and we're in a seating meeting, and we're just talking. We had one of our athletes or whatever, and for some reason he thought his athletes, which is fine. I mean, I get it. He thought one of his athletes, and I'm really, I like his the head coach at Ankeny, but we were just talking like his guy should have been seated higher than our guy because he beat somebody, but our guy was already like ranked number 2 or whatever it was. I was like, can we look it up now? He said something like, you had time to look it up or something. I'm like, Austin, we went to the same school together. We went to Iowa State together.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, come on, man. And then we ended up facing, and we beat their dude, but it is what it is. And I have nothing against Ankeny. Don't get me wrong. I got nothing against Ankeny, so don't take it personal at all. It's just Austin Anderson.
Right.
So I would wrestle Austin Anderson in a heartbeat. But other than that, no. I'm
What-
too old. I'm past my prime. I'm too old.
What weight would it need to be at?
Whatever way he wants to go.
Ooh,
but
you hear that, Austin?
but
Was it
I'm like-
Austin
Austin
Anderson?
Anderson.
I'm
You hear
like,
that?
like I'm done. Like my time is over. You know what I mean? I have nothing to prove. You know what I mean? Nothing to prove at all. I want to eat. I want to be big. I want to chill.
So I guess the moral of the story from this podcast is you love food.
Oh my gosh.
We know that now.
Oh my gosh. No, don't get me wrong though, Ankeny. I have nothing against you guys at all. Coach, nothing. So don't take that personally at all. And also, we're just teammates. I would say you know you're there. So don't take that any type of way at all. At all.
All right, folks, you heard it here. John is only coming out of retirement for one match, and he
I'm
will be
old.
huffing and puffing.
I will be up and above it hard.
Yeah.
All right, John, thank you for coming on.
We out.
We're out.